Hello and welcome back to the You Up podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana. I'm all pumped up.
It feels like it's been a while since we've been in here, even though it hasn't. It's the same amount of time that it always is.
I think we've been busy, both of us, and we haven't chit-chatted.
We haven't.
Usually we have like a little bit of text throughout the week.
That's true.
I was away. I actually thought about that the other day. I was like, I haven't spoken to Jordana in a while.
I know. I was thinking that too. But I feel like you were on vacation and you were having that's how I knew you were having a really good trip, because I didn't really hear from you.
Right.
And you just were you were just good.
Yeah, I wasn't posting as much.
Right.
I was on island time, Nantucket, which is
off the grid.
Off the grid. That's right. A little bit. And plus the special, just there's things to be done, there's and I want to
go time.
I'm so happy. I'm so jazzed up about the special. The messages that I have received from the OKPs that I explained, OKPs, original key players, the listeners are overwhelming in the most amazing, wonderful way. I want to thank everyone who messaged me or just thought of or was just cheer. The amount of people just cheering for it. And you want to write back that, I don't know what to say. So I'm going to say it here. Thank you. It comes out August 15th.
So excited.
It is
what day of the week is that?
That's a Tuesday night. I think Netflix does a 3 a.m. Eastern time release, midnight Western time.
If you want to stay out and up until 3 a.m.
We might do some sort of watch party. Maybe a live scream.
Your own special?
My own special.
Your own special?
Right, I don't know.
You make fun of yourself?
But yeah, look at that fucking loser. I don't know. We're gonna do something.
We're gonna do something. It's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be funny. I'm excited.
We got clips that are coming out. I'm sure they're out already. There's announcements. It truly feels like the wedding is coming.
The overwhelming sentiment that even I'm, getting from people about you is just that people are they feel like this is so well deserved. They feel like your time has come.
Well, let me just say, this is the beginning of my next ask. Right. And the next ask, it comes out August 15th. They say to you, and I can speak directly to the people.
It's not just time for me to get to work. It's time for you guys to get to work.
Time for your assignment. They say the first week is really really for these specials.
Okay.
And the goal for this special is for more people to come see the comedies, enjoy the show, and come find this podcast via the special, all these things. I want so many people to watch it that
Netflix is down.
Right.
It's
I want Netflix, a Taylor Swift moment.
Yes. We want it to be the Game of Thrones finale.
Right. I want people to be angry that their Netflix isn't working because 37 and Single is getting watched too much. So
break the internet.
Right. Let's break the internet. I'm asking you as a favor. I don't like to call it a favor because I do believe in economics. We have created, Betches and you and I, we have created a special that we believe is for this audience and your friends and your family. It's tailor-made. It is, if you've been single, if you've dated, if you've had a breakup, these are all subjects on it. Dating, breakups, relationships, family.
Gender reveal
parties, body issues, nighttime eating, Jews.
If you know any of these people.
Or if you've experienced any of these things, go watch it. Share on your stories, on your Instagram. I need you guys. I need you. And again, I'm going to repeat myself. It's going to be a month of me doing this speech and this pump-up speech. And I'm so excited it's going to be out there. I'm so excited and there's a little Easter egg at the end. Yes. There's a really fun thing in the credits that the people who have filmed do not know is coming.
Which you will find out when you watch.
So if you like stories about maybe the Freed family, there's a little special surprise at the end of the special.
It's almost like a little cliffhanger towards your next special. The what is it? The family show?
The family business tour.
Family business.
You could not be more right, Jordana. So 37 and Single. If it's on, if you can put it on your queue now, do it. If you can let a friend, a mama, a papa, a sister, a brother, anyone that likes to laugh, and we want them to watch it and share. Please, August 15th, that's the date. Jordana, it's just been such a cool thing, and I'm waltzing around. I mean, even Candace said I walked in here. What'd you say? I walked in here like there were birds chirping around my head.
On top of the world. You are like a woman just engaged.
That's right. I'm showing. I need a ring.
It's happening.
Get me a diamond ring.
What does it feel like? What does it feel like?
This is how good.
Do you remember when we had it was one of our first benefits episodes where I got engaged and you were like, "What does it feel like?"
Right.
And I remember this analogy because it kind of feels like this is maybe what you feel like, where it's like you feel like you're in Toy Story as one of the like little alien dolls waiting in the claw machine, and then they pick you up and it's like I've been chosen. I'm going to a better place.
Didn't they have the alien voice? What did they say?
I go to a better place.
I go to a better place. This is it. I'm there. Yes, I feel that way. I was chosen.
Yes.
And here's the other thing. I am I try to be a vessel. I'm an okay person. I think most people are just okay. I'm not a great person. I'm okay. We are okay people. We try our best.
Yes.
I'd like, to me, if this does well, more specials like me, more comedians like me get featured. Sometimes these comedy specials turn into my traumatic tale, which is fine. That's a different type of special, but that's put in place of just funny, just normal, everyday funny. Like I'm thinking of, you think I'm funny? Wait to see my friends. So, right. and when on my other podcast, I have guests on to show them off. So I want it to lead to more people getting seen and more specials being made from, random, Jims and Joes like me, so.
Yeah. And this is all to say, check out the special. Tell all your
37
friends.
and Single. That's what it's called.
37 and Single. Tell all your friends. Tell your parents.
Right.
What a great introduction to Jared. And I have to say, if you like Jared on the podcast, your stand-up is hysterical.
Thank you. It's a
totally different forum, but it's
natural extension.
You truly shine.
Thank you. That's where I know that I put a lot of work towards it, and I believe in my own. The work is evident. I mean, it's all on there. I'm just so excited. Like we were talking on how do we promote it, and then you guys have an account for every joke on the special. Yeah. I was like, oh.
Well, that's it just goes to show the synergy.
The synergy's crazy because I was like, Betch's Brides. Oh, okay. We're going to do, we'll do this joke. Oh, Betch's Moms. We'll do the gender reveal. We'll do the, Instagram bio joke. Oh, the SUP. Or no, it has a new name now.
Betch's News.
Betch's News. I was canceling and talking about millennials getting canceled. And then I was like, Diet starts tomorrow. All the nighttime eating stuff, and then you up, the dating, the relationships, the breakups. So it's all in there. If you
there's something for everyone.
There's something for everybody. And then so that's. I'll shut the fuck up. Otherwise, I am in Raleigh, Lexington, Charlotte, and then I'm coming to Long Island, Huntington.
I'll be there, front row.
You'll be there front row with a big pennant and #1 foam finger.
I will, yeah. I'm so excited. There's something happening.
There's something going on in Huntington. Yes. Finally, I'm coming to the burbs.
No, it's very close to where I'm going to be moving.
People really love that area. The Paramount. I've heard people really go wild. They're
it's a little mini city, town, because there's there's a lot of bars there, and people go out. We'll go out. It'll be fun.
We'll go out. Right. We're gonna do a whole thing. And there's gonna be to the special. There's gonna be a watch party. We're working all this through as the time goes on, and and then that's what's going on. How are you? Well, I'm sorry. Enough about me.
No, more about you. What is going on with you? You were telling me a story to tell me.
I was just thinking of something the other. This happened today. My brother texted the family group chat. He's planning his honeymoon, and
where are they going?
Well, it's funny because we're going to Hotel Red. They're going to go hang out with my parents. My parents have a travel agent, and they were use this travel agent. My brother kind of was oh, use their travel agent so they'll be involved a little bit. Maybe they, slip a couple buckaroos.
A surprise excursion.
Help you out a little bit. And that was kind of the plan-ish, whatever, and my brother and his fiance called me. They're like, it doesn't seem that, they were they want to go to Maldives. They want to do what you did. They want to be in that, they want to be on that hut on top of the water. And they said that
once in a lifetime experience. Yeah.
Right. So they were they said they called my parents, the person they work with, and the person was they were we want to do the, Maldives. This is kind of what we're looking at. And then the person said something along the lines of, so are you guys big scuba people? And you know when someone says something to you
and they just don't get it,
and you know there's no need to talk about anything more. You just like, you ever go like, hey, do you know what direction 18th Street is? And you see the person like look up and they're like,
you're just like, forget it.
And you want to just take their face and swipe it out of your way.
Not
You're like,
you.
yeah, no, wrong. Like you want to like Billy Eichner.
Yeah.
You know, like
they
next.
took like half a second too long to answer.
Right. So my brother's like, fuck, what do we do now? So I get a text on the family group chat. Hey, we've broken up with the travel agent that was sent to my mom.
Right.
We've broken up with the travel agent and we're going to go in another direction. They were very helpful, but not the right one for us.
Well, did you refer them to our travel agent?
I could do that. They're dating again. They're out there. They're on travel agent Tinder, looking for the one. I'll send them the information. Over the moon. They were very great. They were great for my European tour.
They planned your solo moons.
My solo moon, so to speak. Well, then I was thinking, I was like, man, it is so funny that like. And I'm speaking as a man, straight man, of my own experience. Like, my life is so fucking simple as a single guy. Yeah, it might be lonely. Yeah, it might be just nothing. Yeah, I might not have much to do or really anyone to talk to, but there's no strife. Like,
I was thinking about that on your behalf and on my behalf, because I've had a stressful. To be totally honest, I've had a stressful few weeks.
Right.
And I was just thinking, like, all this, like, I hate the fucking word adulting because it's so cheesy.
It's gotten a certain person comes with that word.
Exactly.
Now, yeah.
But all this, like, shit that comes with, like, you deciding to, like, be your parents, try to be, like, in that state
the next
of, like,
phase.
Established is so fucking stressful. Like, owning a house is so, like, there's just so much shit that goes into maintaining that, like this fertility stuff. I'm just kind of like, it would just be nice to just like not be moving again.
To do nothing. Right. A Betch's founder not moving?
I know, right?
It's crazy. That was what I was kind of thinking of. And I was like, from a male perspective, like, I also don't have these like little battles week to week, month to month. Like, there's never like, you know who hasn't called me in a while?
Well, that's from being a man.
Well, that's what this is my point. Is like, as a man, and again, I'm speaking for like maybe the guy you're dating, or maybe the guy that you're like, why won't they move to the next phase? Like, what's the fear? And it's like, the fear is like, I don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Like, my brother had to send that text. I'm sure it wasn't just written by him. I'm sure it took like, we got to tell my mom that we don't want to use her trap. The smallest problem in the world. I'm not saying I'm using this as a metaphor for other things. He had to be like, and then like my mom might be like, our travel agent isn't good enough for her. Like, I'm like imagining how this could snowball, and you hope it doesn't, but it does. This is what happens when you're planning wedding, whatever the next thing is.
The thing is, also, it only gets more complicated.
Right. This is the travel agent.
Like picking your vacation spot. It's like it's funny because it's like, it really does all start the second you get engaged, and your brother is, I guess, a good example of this. Is like, before that, he doesn't know he's being used as fodder. You're just kind of having a good time, and then once you're getting engaged, then you're planning a wedding, which is like a huge financial commitment. It's a huge thing with someone's in-laws. You have to learn how to communicate about money, communicate about all these things. What do you prioritize? What do you value? And it starts with that, and then you get married, and then it's like, okay, what if we're gonna buy something? We're gonna buy a house. We're gonna do this thing, or we're gonna have kids. And then there's just like all this other shit that you have to do, and it's like, we could just not. But like,
why don't we just? Why would we do any of this? Why would we? Yeah. And sometimes it feels like I'm laying in the lazy river, and I'm like this, and I'm just, and then I look over to the side, and it's my brother just like in line, like waiting for the roller coaster, being like, what? They're closing it down early, and I'm just like, And I think of this with the relationships, because I was like, I do think as my friends get married, things get quieter.
Yeah.
But I never had this,
because they have a lot more shit to do.
They got more shit to do, right? Yeah. They got all these fucking travel agents to fire. Yeah. So I was thinking, like, it gets quieter for me, but I don't have this backlog of these small tiffs and things that I'm used to. I think a lot of women, like, you're used to, like, she never gets together with us. She got the boyfriend and disappeared.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there are these little tiny things resentments and arguments that happen in female relationships that don't happen for me, that I can understand where you're like, when your friends go away and have to do these things, that's why you go, I gotta match up with someone. You know, I need the next phase, but maybe you're saying I'm wrong. I don't know. Like, why did, like, you know, we talked before, like, these, like, there's a New York City group of women that, like, found each other in their 30s to, like, be single together.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have that they get together like the Avengers.
Guys,
yeah, there's not like a group of single guys who are like,
that's
let
true.
me introduce you to my single guy
right.
friend.
You guys aren't going out, like, taking pictures of each other for your dating profiles.
No.
Like,
just lonely
guys' night where you go out and dance together. Like,
there's none of that.
No, there's none of that. Does it make you want to settle down more or less, though?
It makes me go, I could just live in solitude forever. Right. Like, things are good right now. Again, like, the special kind of helps my mentality, but, like, the idea that I need to opt into firing a travel agent or, like, having to deal with, like, someone else's family, like,
funny,
because,
like, again, I've been thinking about this a lot. Is every, like, new responsibility I attempt to, and I see my friends with kids and they're, like, so fucking stressed,
right?
And they, you can't do anything without hiring, like, talking about, like, having the conversation with your mother-in-law about the travel agent. Like, these people can't, like, go out to dinner without, like, arranging a childcare situation, right?
Right.
And so part of it is, like, when you think about it, it's like, why are we all doing this? And then the other part is like, well, why are we doing anything? It's very, like, it becomes very, like, existential.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, when we were looking for a house, it's like, well, do we need a house with a pool? Or it's like, we could also just not. But it's also like, we don't need anything.
Right.
Like, we could just live in an apartment, like, for the rest of our lives.
Well, I think that as you get older too, because, you're not late in life. You're a young woman. Like, this is not to say, but I'm saying, like, when you're 25 and you're with another 25-year-old, like, you're kind of like, whatever, like, I think it's a little bit easier because you're not, like, there's nothing to give up. Like, like, there's no, like, you're saying this, like, we got a good life. We're both making money. We're both, like, could live in any city we really want. Like, the only thing that could fuck this up is a kid and a divorce, and now I'm in an apartment with only condiments in the fridge. Right. Like, it's
which
like,
can happen. Yeah.
Right. So, like, and then you become more precious. Yeah. You start going on dates and you go, well, is this person up in the ante here? Like, are they
worth? Are you saying, are they worth the risk?
Are they worth the risk? And you and Mike, you've decided he's worth the risk. And now you go to the house stuff and you go to the whatever the next phase is and trying to have a baby. Is it worth the risk?
Well, that's like fucking this up
again.
Yeah.
Well, now Mike and I are good. We got a good life.
Yeah.
Do I want to fuck this up? Like, again, because, like, your 30s to your 40s, I can't believe that they're much different from one another. Like, again, I don't know, but I'm saying 20s to 30s lifestyle is totally different. Like, the thing, the best part about being in your 30s to me is knowing what you like and you don't like,
and having a little more money, probably.
Well, right, but
to
do those
more things,
right? You want to do a group dinner? When someone says you want to do a group dinner, I go, who is going? Sure. I'm not just diving into a group dinner.
Well, your time is more, right?
Right. Well, it's also, I know who I like.
I guess when you're thinking about, like, you're thinking life is good.
Right.
Right. Do I want to fuck that up by adding someone into it? I guess the alternative is, like, and I've thought about this in terms of kids too, like, I could just keep traveling. I could keep doing whatever the fuck I want. Right. But then it's like, I've already done that.
Right. Well, that's the thing. What's the new adventure?
I guess that's the thing that pushes people to keep getting themselves more responsibility.
Right. The fun of how we're going to tell mom about the traveling, like, again, small story. I'm not saying this is a big problem, but, like, if we want to compare issues, like, you can go fuck yourself. But I'm saying, like, if, it becomes the fun of it. If you look at the plus side, minus side, like, the negative side is, fuck, I got to form this text and this is uncomfortable. The fun side is, like, we get to talk about it later. And you get to say, well, have the, have the fun story.
Someone you can look back on with and say, well, we went through that together.
Right. And
we went through texting your mom about the travel agent. really brought us closer.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. I've been thinking that with like single life, marriage life, next phase of life, all that stuff.
The key is to just find someone that you get along really well with that is probably going to make those experiences better and not worse. Although there's no really way to guarantee.
Well, that's the thing. I ask questions that I don't even know if they're even like worth asking. Like, I'm like, what's your Chinese food order? And they're like, what? It's a stupid question. And I go, just ask.
Well, as you know, that was on your list.
It was on my list. The list is funnier every day that I think about it. Just like,
do you find yourself evaluating potential partners based on the list?
Absolutely. I think it's your
list worthy.
Are they list worthy? Yeah. Because it's you at your most animalistic form.
It's your most selfish list of wants and needs,
right?
Which are like,
but it's funny that you can't even like say it to the person. Like, how much do you like giving head? Like.
Check.
Right. Okay. Right. We'll move on to Chinese food. Like this list is so crazy.
Well, I think we talked about this in a live show once where it was like, if everything had points and a certain number of points would get you to, this was your system to get you to go out with them. Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember we created this game that we should have maybe played here on the podcast.
We should have. I think we played it at a live show last year.
Right. Yeah. I came up with it like on the toilet or something. It was like, it was like point system and this many points, you go out again.
Or you go on it's like, because I think it was based on this idea in my head that I had where you could pick two things that you were superficial about and you didn't have to explain yourself. And those are just your things. And like, that's your preference. And you're not picky if you were like dismissing people based on these two things.
Right. So it was like, get above the number 50 on these 5 things. Right. And you had to like, if you could get above 50 on these 10 things or whatever it was, you got to go on the date.
Right.
That's what the game was. Cause it was like, you're allowed to have stupid things.
Right. And they're subtracting points.
Right.
It's about it makes you look at the whole picture.
Right. It was like they're 5'3", and then it'd be like, how many points? Negative or positive?
It's your own system,
and you just you drill someone on.
Right. It's not a universal. Everyone assigns their own points. To the attribute.
You could hear 5'3" and you go 10.
Minus 10. Yeah.
Plus 10. Minus 10. Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because for a guy or a woman, male is different. So
went to a good school.
Right.
Plus 4, whatever.
Right. How much does that matter to you? Yeah. And we have some emails today. I actually, not to like push us into email land, but like a lot of today's emails kind of are about that, or at least the second one. No, the first one too. I think that's part of it too. Like do you want to get into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
I think this kind of gets us into what we were talking about. Also, oversharing.
You're a fan?
I've always been a fan. Still? You added a new element to it.
Did we? What else?
The guided meditations?
Oh, yes. Fuck.
What, am I going to run this company?
I'm sorry. I told you. I've had a very stressful few weeks, and it's hard to keep track of everything going on in my life.
I get it. Listen, I'm on the lazy river. You're in line looking for tickets.
I have a podcast.
Yeah.
Oversharing, we added meditations. They are called Calm the Fuck Down.
In only the way betches can. You guys really know a branding opportunity. Calm the Fuck Down is great.
Calm the Fuck Down.
Perfect.
Just to it takes the edge off. Meditations are very serious. This is like making them a little funnier, a little more laid back. There are meditations and they're for specific instances. So let's say you get broken up with. There's a meditation you can play it the second you get that text. Hey, I had a great time, but
You're gonna be perfect for someone.
I just don't think I'm ready for something serious right now. You can play this. You're immediately getting anxiety. You can play this meditation. It's for that. It's tailored for that specific instance.
I love. So they're out there already.
There's 4 out there right now. We're adding Breakup. 2 a month. There's you get broken up with. There's you're about to see a family member that you don't like.
Ooh.
Or that there's having
I'm not going to say these are female, but they're very female to me.
You're about to have a difficult conversation. It could be with a coworker. It could be with a friend. It could be with a spouse.
Okay.
You're about
very
to
very female still. I like these.
And what was our 4th one?
First date.
First date, yeah. And you're about to go on a first date. You're nervous. You kind of want to just sit back on your couch. This will get you calm and ready to go on the date.
Are you both leading? I haven't listened to them yet because I am a fan of the show.
You're not a meditator. It's okay.
No. Well, for the people that are, I would say you're dealing with more non-meditators than than meditators.
Yes, that's true.
So me, the non-meditator, like who's leading this? Is it you and Naomi?
No, Naomi is performing the guided meditation.
Love it. So a professional.
Yes. But we'll do a little intro. We take like the edge off of it. It doesn't have to feel so like serious. And they're just for like really like moments that you would actually need it's 5 minute. The meditation itself is 5 minutes just to get in a good headspace. Like, wouldn't you love to listen to this kind of meditation before you broke up with someone?
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Right?
Yeah, you're not a bad person. You should do this.
Yes.
The fact that you've gotten this far,
breathe.
you are listening to a meditation about breaking up with someone. You're making the right decision.
Exactly. You care.
Right? Listen to me now.
And we're adding.
Can I do one? I want to do a funny. I want to do like one where I can like something.
Maybe we'll have you lead one.
I'll lead one like something like a joke one. It won't be.
No, it'll be. I mean, they're all like again. They're not like all. They're not. The actual meditations are serious, but they're fun. We're making them more accessible.
Right. No, you're taking a large dump. I'm Jared Freed. Let me lead you through this bowel movement. I want you to push on 3.
That would be very funny. Maybe that'll be an extra added bonus content.
I'll do a bowel movement one.
Love it.
Let's do it.
I can't wait. You're about to text your mother-in-law that you don't like her travel agent.
That was my brother to my mom.
Your own mother.
You
could have gotten that one.
I mean, I wrote back. My brother wrote to like the whole group chat. He wrote, he was very nice. Mom, just giving a heads up. I broke up with the travel agent. She's very nice, but not for us. I called her and told her she took the news well. Wasn't easy. So then I wrote back, I'm sure Mom will understand and have no questions about this whatsoever. So then...
How does that route go?
Well, my mom wrote, I'd like to know what happened. No,
she's more offended by the breakup than the woman.
Oh my God. Yeah. This is, I mean.
Well, it's because she did the recommendation. Sometimes it's like she set them up.
Right.
She's the matchmaker.
Right. You talk to me.
Yes.
What the fuck? And again, this is the dynamic of like, you add another person in, you add everyone's emotional state, and you go, what is this? Who doesn't like my, you go, this is what happens with mother-in-laws, daughter-in-laws, it's just so funny. And I'm sitting there, popcorn.
Just enjoying the day.
Enjoying the day. Let's do it.
All right. Hi, J&J, longtime listener, first-time writer. This podcast has helped me through so much and given me so many laughs through the years. I'm starting back from the beginning now, following my breakup and loving every episode. Love it.
That's so cool.
A rewatch, if you will.
Right.
Re-listen. Do you have any advice for someone going through a breakup where no one technically did anything wrong and you still care so much for the other person? To provide a little bit of background, I'm Jewish and my ex is Nigerian. We have so much love for each other, but at the end of the day, he wasn't willing to fight through the cultural and family differences to make it work. I'm completely heartbroken, but also know deep down this is for the best in the long run. I have to think there is something better on the horizon for me, but he has been my best friend and biggest support for the past year. That is so hard to think about. That it is so hard to think about not having him as part of my future. I know there are a lot of layers to this email, but would love to hear your thoughts. Thank you for all that you do, for all of your you-uppers. Signed, he didn't have the chutzpah.
There's a lot of like kind of coded language in this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like to me, like it's like he wasn't willing to fight through the cultural family differences to make it work. Like, I don't know what that even means. Like, would he have to convert? Like,
I know what the euphemism is there. Right.
Right.
I think it's kind of like,
does he not like her family? I wasn't sure.
I think it's kind of like her family has a way of doing things. They wanted things done. Maybe they wanted to raise the kids Jewish. They wanted him to convert. They wanted to do whatever it was. And he was kind of just like, I'm not really interested in going there.
Right. Which is right. I'm
not opting into like putting in the work to like make myself presentable for your family, which I totally get.
I totally get that also. Like they say there's no villain. I think that's kind of their biggest issue here is like, there can be an immature person could villainize someone for that. Absolutely.
It's not unvillainable.
Well, that's what I kind of thought of Taylor Swift, antihero. I thought of the word antihero. Like I thought of like, I thought of like
great song,
a great song, and I actually looked up some lyrics because, an anti-hero is a central character who lacks traditional heroic characteristics. They may have redeemable qualities or good intentions, but their actions are flawed, often selfish, and occasionally violent. In storytelling, a traditional hero is admired or idealized for their courage, nobility, and moral action. This person, we're getting the email from one side. So, like, they basically, like, the noble thing is, like, I'll do anything for love. Right. Like, you're from there, right. I'm from this background. Anything love will conquer. Oh, we shall overcome. And this person was like, no, I'm not going to be happy generally if I just look over all of these things that I want to do with my life and how I want to live my life and who I want to be and become. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to take an anti-hero turn for me.
I would argue in a real life scenario, not some like glorified rom-com version of this shit. Mm-hmm. This is the real hero way to do it, because the anti-hero way to do it to me is, yeah, sure, I'm into it. It's fine. Yeah, like I'll whatever. And then the time comes, and the person's like, never mind, or they do it. And they resent you the whole time, and they keep bringing it up
and they
that
blame
they did
you.
it.
Yeah.
And they're kind of like annoyed the whole time, and then the resentment builds up, and then you get divorced in 20 years, and they're like, and I never really wanted to do that, and you were just pressuring me, and whatever. Like, to me, this guy is the hero.
Right. I guess it's all, glass half full, half empty type of thing.
You know me.
Well,
it's positive.
It's positive. I've always said that about you. So But I guess from the emailer's point of view, like when they write in and say, nobody did anything wrong and you still care so much about the other person. I don't think they did anything. Nobody did anything wrong, but they are wrong for you.
Yeah.
I think they need to stop.
Not a match.
We need to stop talking in this language of like, everyone wanted it, but we weren't meant to be. No. You want one thing. They want another thing. You are not meant to be. Mm. It is over. They were good for you to learn that. They were the vehicle with which you learned, I am clutching onto my Jewish values or whatever cultural, existence as a Jew, and I will have to be ahead of that for the next time. And again, that gets us back to our conversation from earlier, where you are going to be pickier from here.
Right.
Which
is good.
Which is good. It's going to be harder. Because you're going to have to not go out with the wide-eyed wonder of maybe we could, who knows?
Yeah, and I think in terms of her question, which is like, how does she get over the breakup? I think the way to get over the breakup is to picture, because the reason you did the breakup was because there wasn't going to be a future that you wanted with this person, right? So I think if you think about, like, let's say part of her future that she's excited about is raising a Jewish family and just having that be a big part of their lives, right? Mm. I would just keep playing what you want over in your head and realizing that that person wasn't going to fit into that picture.
Right.
Because that's the reason you broke up.
Well, you're right. You're right. They were never a part of the future you want. And it's a loss of innocence, and you both had it. That's where he becomes not a villain. You both gave it a shot.
Right.
And you got to this one part in the road, an impasse, and you go, I got to go this way. And you're like, well, I got to go this way. And you go, well, you could be thankful. Thanks for making me realize that.
Right.
That
is important to me. Yeah.
Right. You just made me, you were the vehicle with which made me realize that this is way more important than I ever could have realized.
Yeah.
And I've had that.
We had Robin Shaw, and she talks about her ex and how he made her realize she wants to be the stand-up, right? They broke up, and she had no hard feelings, but she was saying that made her lean deeper into what she was really looking for.
Absolutely. And it's hard to do. It's like a perspective shift, which is like the hardest thing in the world. To look at something you looked at the same way,
it's giving you taste.
It's giving you taste.
When I say taste, it's like preference.
Yeah. Both of you. Yeah. For him too, it sucks that we get one side of this. I'm sure his email would look very much the same.
She wanted me to do this and this and this. And
I was like, I'm on the lazy river. Right. No, I'm always one to kind of jump towards the accusation of guys kind of use these more important things to kind of get out of something they weren't sure about.
Right.
That sounds really bad the way I'm putting it that way, but I think we all do that, where you go, well, this is the more important thing.
Well,
and now I'm going to say that, of course I could just keep going along for a couple more months, whatever.
Well, here's the thing. It's like whoever is less invested is more motivated to do whatever they want.
Right.
It's kind of the truth. It's kind of like if you're scared of losing something, you're going to be more flexible. If you were less scared of losing something, if you're more okay without it, you have more negotiating power. And that's true for anything, whether you're looking for a job. You know what I mean? Maybe I applied for a job and I was like, and I want this salary. And the person was like, well, it's this salary. And you didn't have a job. You might be like, all right, I guess I'll take it, even though it's not my ideal situation. But if you do have a job that you like and you love and you're kind of like, I'm not like I don't need you as much as you need me. You can stick to your guns.
In that context, what they've done, and they should be proud of themselves, they've done a very powerful thing. They didn't act from a place of
being scared.
Being scared. Yeah. They said, you know what, this lifestyle, whatever it might be, is what I want. And both of them did.
Yeah, a deal that doesn't go through is a good thing.
Right. Mm-hmm. You would have been stuck in a deal that both of you would have really not liked.
Right.
Yeah, this is all kind of like pump up talk at this point because like this person has to know this. Like,
it's hard because they don't have a crystal ball where they could see what it would be like if they let this go and like what their life would be like if they didn't make this an issue and how it played out that way. So they only can imagine that they would have been so happy if the person just decided, I'll figure it out.
Right. It's funny because they mentioned there's one part of this email that like kind of jumps out at me. Like you always hear, they were my best friend. Mm-hmm. And, I could leave my friends. Even when I was in a relationship, like, and then like, and that ended, I went back to some friends I hadn't seen in a long time, because you get busy.
Yeah.
And my friends were like, what's been happening? Oh shit. That ended? Holy fuck. I didn't think it would. And I was like, and we were back at 0.
Right.
There was no resentment, no like where you never made time, like I think that's the easiest, maybe the hardest part for this person is like sometimes I think a lot of like, especially women give themselves to this whole relationship.
Right.
And when you say
personal
and it feels personal and you have and then you go, oh, those girls I didn't call for lunch.
Right. Or I've sacrificed a lot for this relationship.
Right. Whereas there's not as much sacrifice for maybe him where he's like, yeah, just go back to the same guys and we go watch football again.
Men never get resentful of each other?
I've never had that.
Ever?
I've never heard of such a thing for my friends. And we all talk shit about each other and all that.
Silently resentful?
No, maybe. I mean, maybe they're silent.
I guess we're not getting a lot of emails on oversharing about
right,
from men.
On the how much should I be triggered?
Yeah, or the like the friendship. I feel like there's just like there's less expectations, I think, of male friendships.
Right. So and with more expectations.
But I also don't think they're as close. So
right. No, good goes with the bad. Yeah. Like I don't think I have like.
That's true of any relationship. You think about like a romantic relationship. There's a lot more expectations, but there's a lot more closeness.
Right. Right.
Sure,
Well, that's why when we were talking about like opting in or out, this person opted out.
Right.
They opted out. They go better luck next time.
It's funny, just on the topic of like friends, even though this is sort of like a digression, it would be so fun to like, how we talk about everyone's definition of casual is different.
Right.
Like, what is everyone's definition of a casual friendship versus like
that's funny,
an intimate friendship?
Well, I mean,
right? Casual friendship to me might be different than a casual friendship to you.
Well, every woman I've ever dated has like a million best friends.
Right. They can't all be best friends.
Right. And I've never even referred to someone as my best friend. I felt my buddy's riding in one of my closest friends. He's riding in, and I have to call him one of my close friends. I will be like, best friend? What the fuck am I saying?
Right.
What am I, 8?
I agree. It's a little ridiculous.
It's a little ridiculous, but like, I'm freed by that and I'm also cursed by that. When you go through something, you go, your best friend. Right. I got the list. Here's who I got dinner with this week. Best friend 1, best friend 2, best friend 3.
No, it's true. There's a lot more like sense of like taking care of each other.
Right.
When you put the label on it.
Right. You have to. Yeah. I'm a best friend.
Yeah.
Got to go to bat. Like, Do you have
a difference between a casual friend and a is like what would you describe as a casual friend versus like or a serious friend?
Ooh.
Like the difference.
I guess a casual. This is like crazy. How would you do it?
I would say casual friend, happy birthday text.
Okay.
Text less than 5 times a year.
Less than 5?
Yes.
Okay.
Less than to a personal text. Maybe interact in the group chat more often. But you're speaking to them one-on-one once a quarter, if that.
Okay. Well, what if they live out of town? You're in their town. This is like my dad growing up. He'd always be like, do you know this person? I'd be like, I know that person. They're like, are you friends? I'd be like, I don't know. And then my dad would go, if you passed each other in a hallway, would you nod at them? And I'm like,
that's obviously casual.
Like,
okay.
Right.
All right. You need, I'm not going to say moving because that's how we've talked about this. All right. Okay. You're on your flight. You're on the way to you get to your destination. You forgot your passport. You need it for your next leg of your trip. You need someone to go to your apartment and mail it to you.
I know one person I would call.
Casual friend, I'm not calling.
No.
I would be like, fuck that if someone called me.
No, there's one, right. But also this goes into like the type of person the person is, but I know who I would call.
You have a friend.
I have a friend.
That's a serious friend.
That's a serious friend.
Right.
I would consider them a serious friend.
Right. They show up to your grandma's funeral.
That's a
serious friend.
That's a serious friend. Yeah. Grandma changes things. Mom,
I think
you could be in
go.
Right. Yeah. I think that'd be more in the gray area of friendship.
The grandma's
grandma's like, wow, this really, you didn't have to do this.
Right.
She was fucking dead anyways.
What are you doing here?
Right? Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, I was just thinking of like, you have that trope of like women ditching their friends the minute they get in a relationship. I think the men do that too. Just no one cares.
Right. Well, that's the thing. No one's like resentful. Yeah.
Right. I don't think one's ditching more than the other. And this is also as you get older, you care less and less. Like in college, what the fuck? Frank doesn't hang out with He's always with his girlfriend. Like you'd hear that in college. And then as you get older, no one gives a shit.
Right.
He's just a girlfriend guy.
Men are going through less things together.
Way less.
Generally.
I don't even know half of my friends' names.
Do you know what they do for a living?
Who? No, I do. I actually don't.
I had this conversation with like a group of like high school friends, and I think the guys were just kind of like they don't necessarily fully know what any of their friends do, or like the company that they work for.
Right. I vaguely real estate.
Yeah, but could you name the company?
One guy I could name the company. One guy. I don't know. That was the nice part about your wedding is like Mike has like a very strong group of friends.
Yeah, he has a tight group of high school friends.
Very tight.
Yeah.
In a way that I don't really even understand.
But even them, it's like they like do things together very often, but there's definitely not like the resentment or the feeling of like anxiety I think that female friendships bring.
You witness it. You get a front row seat.
We're also like moving near my friends. We're not moving near hers. So it's kind of like, do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it has like its benefits and its
I'll see you when I see my friends, I go, I'll see you when I see you. When I say goodbye. I'll see you when I see you. That's how I say goodbye. I'll see you when I see you. Yeah, it's not like...
You want to see it? Maybe never.
Maybe never. Maybe we die.
Right.
Maybe it's my funeral.
Yeah. I'll let you know when I need you to get my passport from my apartment.
Let's go to some awkward sex. You ready? J&J. Love the podcast, everything y'all do. Here's an awkward sex story from this past week. Hot off the presses.
Wow.
Hot off the vag. This past week that I hope you can appreciate. What's important to know is that because of a heart arrhythmia, I have an ICD, an implantable cardioverter defibrillator. Did I say that right? Defibrillator?
I think that's
defibrillator.
Right. I think it's defibrillator. I think it's defibrillator.
Silent R?
I think it might be.
All right.
I should know this. My dad has heart issues.
Come on. Didn't you go to Cornell?
Defibrillator. I mean, there's no R in the word.
Yes, there is.
Oh,
defibrillator. Defibrillator? Defibrillator.
Defibrillator. All right. Let us know. Or
this is driving someone nuts. Yeah. This is a medical device implanted in the chest that's like a pacemaker. This is a medical device in the chest like a pacemaker. It's there as a safeguard in the unlikely event that my heart stops. My health has improved in the years since I had it implanted, so I rarely think much about it. It's there just in case. A few nights ago, my fiance and I were banging, the usual. so romantic. What is she, a truck driver?
I know, right?
Yeah, the other night, my fiance was laying pipe on me. Just give him the 1-2 on the Vagina Reno.
Maybe let's get some more romance in here.
Right.
It's also just funny to compare with a word as like pretentious sounding as fiance. Right. My fiance.
My fiance and I were banging.
I have to say there's no word that's like more annoying than fiance. When I was engaged, I remember like not liking the word. It's
just also it's like that's where we didn't do a translation.
Right?
It's the one word.
My betrothed.
That's hilarious. A few nights ago, my fiance and I were banging. The usual. Everything was great until out of nowhere, we both saw a white flash and I felt a painful, violent jolt like someone kicked me hard in the chest. I fell backwards and for a split second wasn't sure what happened. But I quickly realized my ICD had gone off and defibrillated me. I didn't even know that was the way you could use that word. Okay. In other words, delivered a powerful electric shock to my heart. Because we were about as close as you can physically be, my fiance got shocked too.
Wow.
This is true hot love, right? Although not nearly as badly. I like she throws that in. It wasn't, it wasn't like mine. After a lot of hyperventilating and crying, I went to the ER and spent 2 days in the hospital answering the question, what were you doing when your device went off?
I feel like everyone is doing the same thing when that device goes. I feel like that's like a trope in movies where like the guy has a heart attack sleeping with a prostitute or something.
Really? What movie?
I feel like there's many movies where that's like or like the guy dies in the bed of like of a sex worker. Or something.
Right. There is my heart went out from the sex.
Right. He's cheating. It's usually like he's cheating on his wife or something.
They do the the heart grab.
Right, and that's how he gets caught with this double life or something.
He's just crawling towards the door.
Yeah.
To get out of there. What were you? So they get question in the hospital. Answer question after question. What were you doing when your device went off? Over and over again. I'm not sure if it's a good or bad thing that the doctors had heard this tale before.
Watching the same movies I was.
Right. Let's fix the device. It was probably the most scared I have ever been, but we're laughing about it now. It's led to a lot of bad jokes and puns from family members. The family members getting involved.
Yeah, I don't know what the puns are.
Hey, we fucking? So I'd love to hear what y'all come up with for this, one of the scariest moments of my life, red flag or circuit breaker. Love the sign off. Great story. I'm happy they're okay.
Yes.
What did you think?
I feel like this happens a lot.
Right.
I mean, I don't know how, I guess like it's rather uncommon for assuming she's like a younger person to have like a heart, like a defibrillator in.
Right.
But I would imagine this would be like an activity akin to working out that would make your heart
right. I mean, the hardest part about this is fucking the next time.
Right. If I were him, I'd be insulted that it hadn't gone off before.
Right. What's wrong with you? Your heart wasn't racing.
Just sitting there?
Right. I mean, it might be good for him. He's like, hey, let's just stick to blowjobs and we'll move back we'll climb our way back.
Don't get too excited. Right. Yeah.
It is insulting.
Right? I call this heart-stopping sex.
I love that.
What do you have?
I felt like I screwed up last week, so I have a bunch. I saw the light.
I like that.
We had sparks.
Oh, that's good.
Sparks fly.
Like that.
Almost heaven.
That's funny.
Killer cock. The buzzy bang. Heart, give me a break.
I don't get that one.
It was like a heart arrhythmia.
Oh, okay. I like Candace's. She had Iron Woman. Sexually charged, I thought was very good.
Yeah, very good.
Rhythmic arousal.
Iron Woman, are you a Marvel fan, Candace? I am too.
I didn't get that one, so that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Iron Man that's his whole origin story is that his like heart, he had to have his heart remade via his battery that he created and this whole thing. So yeah, this is I love the movies. I'm big Marvel.
I know that you say that when you, after you sleep with someone, there's a certain period of time that you have to wait before breaking up with them.
Right.
What if their heart stops during sex?
Well, and
does that make it longer? Yeah, they didn't die. That would have solved the issue.
That would really made things a lot easier. Yeah, I don't know what, because this is one of those things that like sometimes people will make into more than they should make it. Like,
right. I mean, she's crying.
Right, she's crying and she's like, "Wow, we were so." Like someone
we
could
became
go
one.
Right. We were so into this. This
together.
Is right. That you'd be like, oh yeah, right. Yeah, we are one. You know, like I don't know.
He tried to kill me, and then he broke up with me.
Right. The next day, not for me. Well, they're engaged, so I hope this.
Yeah, it's too late for him.
What sucks for them is that this is now kind of fodder for someone's best man bridesmaid speech.
I guess.
Like, and now grandma has to hear like they fucked so hard that her heart almost stopped.
I don't know if you could tell that one at the wedding.
Someone will, where there's a will, there's a way. Choose your bridesmaid wisely.
Yeah.
Your best man wisely, because this is one of those stories that like people think is cuter than it is.
Right, and it comes off awkwardly.
Right.
It's a hard job giving a speech.
Tough one.
Toeing the line between embarrassing the person and having fun.
Right. I don't know. I have a lot of pressure. I mean, I have to. My brother's wedding.
Do you have ideas? This is your job.
See, this is the problem.
Right.
What if I just want to give a hard
high expectations.
Right. His fiance's always like, "Oh, and Jared's speech is gonna make us all go crazy."
Have you given speeches before?
Every night.
No, I mean like for a wedding.
I think I have at like a Friday night rehearsal dinner. You know, you ever go to those rehearsal dinners where they're like, "There's the mic. Anyone want to jump up? You can come say anything."
No, I've never been that disorganized.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, we don't. Well, I don't even know who's getting married.
Volunteer basis.
Yeah, just hop on up there, hot mic. It's really a lot.
I've been to funerals like that, but not
I've been to funerals like that.
Yeah, I think it makes more sense for a funeral. It's not like the person could ask you to make a speech. Like,
right.
Would you mind?
I got something to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do another email.
Let's do it. All right. Hi, Jared and Jordana. I'm a new listener and already a huge fan of the show. Love it. Welcome. My very recent boyfriend is obsessed with y'all and mentioned this podcast on our first date. We've only been together for a couple months now, but things moved pretty fast and mostly just felt right. I've been in a couple of relationships over 2 years in the past, but this feels very different, and I truly envision such a beautiful future with him. For context, we're both in our mid to late 20s and met on Hinge. The problem at hand is that he has casually made some flippant remarks in the past. They're pretty clearly jokes since he's still with me and even claims to love me, but they're kind of hurtful and have provoked insecurities. Some examples. Compared my style to Portia from White Lotus and generally being vocal about his distaste for the way I dress. Unpromptedly calling my sense of humor Trumpish.
Okay.
I would need
painting a picture here.
I need a little more context on what joke she's telling. Randomly telling me one morning that my backpack is the ugliest thing he's ever seen.
Okay.
Asking me if I'm ignoring. It sounds like this guy is like a middle school bully.
Right. What up, nerd?
Asking me if I'm ignoring him when I kept pointing out cute dogs on a run together. Okay. That one I think is a wash. I have talked to him about it and he said he didn't mean any of it and will try to filter these comments and has clearly shown much more restraint since. Even though he doesn't verbalize them as much anymore, I still find myself occasionally anxious about what he's thinking and at times wondering why he's even with me if he dislikes so many things about me.
Well, that was the part I was thinking about. He dislikes so many things about it. Well, not so many things, just how you dress and how you act. Just your general disposition and how you dress.
Yeah, he probably likes your face. I'm not sure if these thoughts are valid and I should trust them or if they're me being oversensitive and I need to just get thicker skin and stop letting it bother me. I really like him aside from this. Other than these random comments, he's incredibly thoughtful, supportive, and considerate, especially with regards to far more important things, and makes me unbelievably happy. Unbelievably happy is I
don't think you'd be writing it here.
Strong word, yeah. Would love to know your thoughts.
How about just happy?
Unbelievably happy.
Doth protest too much, bag woman.
Regards, a bitch in need of some friendly advice. Would you tell your girlfriend if you didn't like her bag?
No.
Okay. What if it was actually the ugliest bag you'd ever seen? What if it was like weird and you wanted? It sounds like she's got like kind of like an interesting sense of style.
Yeah, I all jokes are centered around truth.
Yeah,
that's her biggest problem right now. She knows that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the idea of just get thicker skin. I don't think that's a solution to her issue. Like,
I agree.
His jokes might fucking suck. Listen, I bomb every 5 minutes on this show. You know,
right.
like we all bomb. Like, so not making a joke doesn't make you better than the person who can't take it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like if he's
also a good person, a person who makes jokes knows their audience.
Right.
Well, a person who makes good jokes knows their audience.
This guy is kind of missing the mark, but it does sound like he's trying to communicate something to her of like, I don't like how you like the dressing thing, the style thing seems to be a big part of this.
That's the recurring theme.
Right. But the Trumpish thing, you go, I'm trying to like get inside the mind of a murderer here a little bit because like if she's
saying like offensive comments,
if making outlandish comments, then he might feel he's free to make outlandish comments as well.
Right. I need more context on that.
Right. Like the Trumpish thing, it is a buzzy. You can't just say that and not give me an example.
Right.
Right. So like, are you being like, these Mexicans? Like, I don't know what you're doing.
Right.
Like,
are you saying something actually like embarrassingly?
Right.
Like, and he's trying to give you the hint that like.
Or he's trying to keep up, but the only thing he can think of is, look at that stupid dress you wore. You know?
Right. I need more about like the dynamic but it's funny because she's sort of like painting a picture of an extremely sentimental and unsentimental relationship. When she says, he makes me unbelievably happy. That's not someone who's, it's not something I would necessarily hear, even if it was true, from someone who's like, seems like a lot of their relationship banter is like negging.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Or she says, I truly envision such a beautiful future with him. Like, it just doesn't feel like people talk that way who are like ribbing each other all the time.
Right. I mean, would you change how you dress for a guy?
I wouldn't change how I dressed for a guy, but if someone liked me to wear something, I might wear it on occasion if I was trying to like Mike has like, there's a lot of stuff Mike wears that I'm like, I don't like that shirt like at all. Right.
If the woman I was seeing said that to me, I go, shirt is done. I'd literally have a lighter up to it with them in front of me.
Some of the stuff he says that.
Because I would go, why would I even, I'm only doing things to fuck. So like, so I do understand women dress for other women.
Yeah.
Men dress for fucking women. So like, it is under.
I think maybe there's a double standard. I don't know if you'd be like, but sometimes I'll like I'll order something online and I'll try it on for him and he'll be like, I don't like the sleeves. Like that's not for me. Sometimes I'm like, if there's a part of me in the back of my head that's like the sleeves are kind of weird, then that'll be like, that's why I asked him.
He'll push you over the top.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if I'm like, oh no, I like this is trendy, you don't get it. I don't really care if you like it. Right. Whatever.
What if he was like, this one thing that you never wear makes me fucking
I'd wear that.
And you okay.
Sure.
I guess it's all on how you paint it.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe not all the time, but like.
Right. Like
in the same way, it's like, oh, I like when that dish you cook is really great. I'd be like, okay, I'm not making it all the time, but if it's, if I'm.
You know it now.
Yeah. Now I know that that's something you like.
It's in your bag of tricks,
right,
so to speak. I think this is like.
He's made fun of, you know what he makes fun of? He used to make fun of my, like the shirts I would go to sleep in. Okay. There's like rags. Right.
So
he'd be like, that shirt is actually disintegrating.
Would you be self-conscious or how did you feel?
I was like, I think there's like an element of self-consciousness in there. And then I'm kind of like, it's kind of like, I'm not that insulted by it because I also like know that the shirt is like ripped.
Right.
But maybe now I'm thinking about like, maybe he's saying it as a joke because he's actually like, I actually would prefer if you like not wear that.
Right. I guess I would never care that much. Like if I really cared about the person, I would make fun of it. And like, it'd be hot if they came in like, silk the next night. Like that'd be cool. Right. But I wouldn't be like, oh, thank God. I couldn't even sleep in this bed. I don't know. Like to me, it's like, I'm wondering, this person
he doesn't like her sense of fashion.
He's trying to tell her something.
Yeah.
I guess I'm putting the Trumpish aside. The Trumpish is, to me, the reason he's making these jokes. Like I'm trying to like put the red string together all from all the clues. Like if you're a person who's described personality as Trumpish, that means you're outlandish in my opinion.
And you're described, you know what Portia from White Lotus dresses like?
I'm sure, which one was that?
She's the girl, she was like the younger girl who was the assistant of, what's her face? Tanya, who's played by Jennifer Coolidge.
And she kind of gets made fun of the whole.
Her outfits are just very like Gen Z.
Okay. So now Candace is showing us a picture.
Like it was kind of like made fun of on the internet. I don't even know if that's a good example. I feel like she wears like crazier shit. Like that, maybe.
Like bucket hat and you know, things that should really never
go together.
Candace is now making fun of her.
But that's like a look. I get
no, but I get it. Like I can understand. So if your personality's outlandish and now your outfits are like kind of go in line with that, he's
trying to say you're like kind of a lot for him sometimes.
Right, but it seems like he does care about her. Well, like you know, he's not doing it to make things worse for him.
Here's my question for you.
Sure.
You date a girl, she's great in every way, but you don't like her sense of style at all. Is that something you're going to just get over?
I guess, yeah.
She just wears stuff. You're just kind of like, I don't like.
I'm trying to think of like.
I don't really want you to like wear that to meet my mom. Like,
well, if she's
wearing a bucket hat to meet.
Bucket hat to meet my mom, I wouldn't care about.
Bucket hat's not that weird. Right. I'm trying to think of something like
low cut skirt and top. Like, I mean, now we're getting into like the Jonah Hill zone of like, what are you allowed to say?
No, just like not even that. Let's say she wears like a big, baggy, like raggedy T-shirt to meet your mom, and like that's her style, or something. She just kind of like looks like a little disheveled all the time.
I would feel like I didn't even know that person at that point. Like I wouldn't. If I didn't think that they would like.
You don't like her saying. Let's say you don't like her style.
It's hard because I don't know what would offend me that much that I would go like. I can't. I don't know. I don't think I would get to bringing them home if I didn't.
Right. It would be part of the package of your attraction or not attraction.
Right. So that's why I'm wondering what's going on here, because it's like he's in it. He's enjoying her. They seem she's other than her extreme language, like it seems like he's having like he is a boyfriend.
Well, what if he's just like, I really like you. To be honest, your sense of style, not particularly my taste.
I don't know how any woman would take. How would you take that?
What if he's telling the truth? That's what he's saying. How would I take that? It's tough because I don't like pride myself on my style. Right. I'm not wearing really outlandish things, and I'm not like particularly creative stylishly. If I was like someone who like thought I had really good style, and it's just like someone said to you, like, I don't think you're very funny, but I really like you a lot. You'd be that you'd be out because that's something you pride yourself on. Right. Someone said to you, like, I think you're really great. I think you're really funny. I don't really like your style. You would not be out.
I would be like, let's go to the store. Right.
It's kind of like,
you're right.
To me, I don't think I would be like so offended because I'm not like so tied. I don't think of my style as like so much as part of my identity.
Well, that's, I think, when you're described as Portia, you're taking some chances. So maybe you are. It is a part of your identity.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I think if you're kind of like, maybe you're making some questionable jokes. I don't know. Maybe like you do think of yourself as like, you pride yourself on your humor and your
and your style.
Yeah. If someone said to me, I don't think you're funny, I think I would also be out. But if someone said to me, like, I don't really like love your outfits, I would be like, okay, that's fine.
What would you do if you were her?
I would ask him. I'd be like, I'd say like, is it that you just really don't like what about my style is so offensive to you?
Right. Why do you keep making?
Are you like embarrassed to be going out with me because I'm wearing this? I remember there's a Sex and the City episode where one of Carrie's boyfriend makes fun of her like hats or something, and she gets like really mad and she storms off.
This hat.
I mean, I think
it's a Botticelli.
I think it is akin. I think she can evaluate like, what is my style? Like, how do I feel about my style? Is it an important part of who I think I am?
Right.
And then if the person doesn't like that, then maybe they don't like me.
Yeah. I think that's the math she has to do.
Right.
I think if you go to,
like if someone didn't like your style, I think you would be fine.
Right. I would have to like, I'd be like, well, what? And I also do think this is how you feeding it, this information. Right. I think this is a big part of this is like, he's missing the mark and he's doing bad jokes. And now she's like, hey, I don't like when you joke. And now he's not saying anything at all. So he's not even like communicating with her at all. And now she's getting stressed out. Well, what's the next? What does he actually think about the thing? Now,
maybe it sounds like he doesn't like it. Which, I mean, that just might be. And again, if you are not okay dating someone who doesn't like your style, just like in the first email, you are not okay dating someone who doesn't want to lean into your religion.
Right.
Then maybe they are not the match for you. I mean, it sounds like one is much stupider than the other. Terms of like, but it depends how much is that part of your identity. Like if she was like, being Jewish isn't a big part of my identity, she might not care. If this person's like, what I wear is not a big part of my identity. Like it's malleable, it's flexible. Yeah. If you prefer something else, it doesn't mean that much to me to wear something you like. Just like many guys, I think, would say.
Right. I would. Yeah. I'm with you. There has to be a talk after you mathematically. Right.
It's just funny. I think there's a double standard of like. The idea of a man dressing a woman is like it seems like terrible. But you think about it, I think I know so many of my friends who like didn't like their boyfriend's style, took them shopping. They now wear whatever they tell them to wear, and it's like fine. But a man doing that feels like crazy.
Well, it's like boys playing with trucks, girls playing with Barbies. Like just generally, more girls are playing with Barbies, and generally more boys are playing with trucks. So the idea that like. Generally, a lot of,
more dress up seems like more socially acceptable.
Well, also not even just that, but what you're saying is like what becomes a part of your personality, my style.
Right.
For generally a lot of women are like, my style is a part of who I am and what I put together. And like for a lot of guys, generally it isn't what makes them, being funny. Yeah. The funny thing is,
I think more women than men would probably be like, my style is personal and it's part of a statement about who I am. And so this would be like more of we're not a match thing.
Listen, how many women, the minute you say something nice about what they wore, I got it on sale. Like it's a part of who they are. I didn't overspend. That's like a very big plot point in what you wore.
I always felt like people say that. So they're like they're being humble.
That's right. Yeah. That's totally. Right. So, but no guy's ever said that to me. Oh, I like those shoes. Sale.
No one has ever said that to you.
It's not really like a main part of the conversation.
Right.
They don't like.
No one's ever like, cool hat. I like your hat.
Yeah, of course. Right. Liked your hat, but I'm never like, sale, 10% off. I'm not rich. I'm a loser. Right. But that to
link
me,
it.
again.
Link it.
Right. But then there's, again, that's when someone says it was on sale, that's a personality. They're trying to make sure I'm humble.
Right.
I have good style and I don't overspend on things, and I don't have all the money in the world. There's so much stuff beneath that.
Right. I'm accessible. Yeah.
Right.
No, I agree. So I think that's something to explore. The Trumpish thing, I can't really answer that without more context.
I think that's, to me, I can't either. I'm not saying I know more. I'm just saying like, I think that has to do with, I think it's why he feels so okay with like making these comments. She probably says some things that are uncomfortable.
Crazy shit. Yeah.
I mean, what other thing could we think from that description? Oh, she's quiet and subtle.
When someone says Trumpish humor, it sounds like kind of like racist. Is sort of
that's why I did
it, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Joke before,
right? Like I don't know what else that would mean.
Boorish. I think it's. I think it's ogreish. I think there's a whatever you want to say. Like that there's no other way.
It's not witty. Right.
Listen. To say I haven't laughed at things Trump has said, would be a lie. Like I think that he's sometimes hilarious.
I mean, the fact that he nicknamed all of his like what's the word, opponents,
right?
Like Lion Ted Cruz is like the kind of humor that's funny in the sense that it's absurd.
He's calling. I mean, it is funny. I mean, he's calling what's his name, Pudding Fingers.
Who?
He's calling
What was it? Sleepy Joe.
Sleepy Joe. Who's the? No. The Florida guy, DeSantis. He calls him pudding fingers because there's a rumor that he ate pudding with his fingers.
Right. It's like not. It's like not particularly clever.
Right.
It's mean spirit. Here's what I would describe Trumpish humor: mean spirited, not particularly clever, and like kind of absurd. Which is a humor.
Which is a humor, and which is stuff I have laughed at before.
Okay.
So she might be nailing it sometimes for certain audiences, but also he's probably going. That fucking, I'm dating some woman who's dressed like a billboard, who's, yelling uncomfortable things.
Right.
I got Portia over here yelling about, about sleepy, Melissa.
Yeah.
So, and you go, sometimes it's funny, but sometimes it misses, just like he's missing.
Right.
You know, so I think maybe that's why he's trying to maybe keep up. I'm giving him a lot of empathy.
Yeah.
And only because of the Trumpist thing, you know, that's the only reason I
would explore that with him. I would ask him what he means by that.
Right. What's going, and again, I think it's like, I don't want to not be made fun of. I want to be in on the joke. I want to be in on the joke.
Right.
I think that's the big thing. I want to, like, when you make fun of me, I want it to be because we on something we both can laugh at. Mm-hmm. And there's a subtle, masterful way of doing that.
Right. You can be playfully like ribbing and flirty.
When I do the looks jokes are very tough because it's a very thin line to mean. So like when I do like the contestants on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, like I go up and green screen, it's on my TikTok, green screen in front of their faces. There's an easy joke to make that's probably not the one I should do. Like that's mean.
Right.
And then there's like a little bit smarter, a little bit more well written that like you get away with it.
Right. Because the person's like, that's so on point that even the person would be like, that's so on point that's pretty funny.
Right. So are you letting me in or are you just making fun of me?
Right.
As I think she's got a.
Right. Am I right? Is it playful or is it like you're trying to tell me something?
Right. Right,
yes.
Right. Like I've been,
I told you about this conversation that I've had with like Mike about Christmas, where I'm like, I thought it was funny. He doesn't think it's funny.
wait, what was it?
I think it was like, I was kind of joking about how I think that like the amount of gifts that are given on Christmas is like ridiculous. And I kept making this joke about how like I was trying to like sort of like change the tradition of his family Christmas and like, you know, like maybe we could open presents before, like when we get them, and or like just all these like suggestions for like the Christmas gifts. And I keep making the joke over and over again. And then finally he's like, I don't think it's funny. Like you're like, I'm actually like kind of offended by it. Mm-hmm. You keep going and like, I'm getting annoyed. And then I dropped it.
Right, drop it. And again, to like attach it to this person's issue, you don't understand it.
Sure.
You know, like in the way that this guy probably doesn't understand the fashion decisions that she's trying to make.
Right.
You know, she's like, no, bucket hats are in.
Yeah. So, well, that's what I said. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you can. And again, it depends on how strongly you feel about whatever the thing is.
Right. And if it doesn't go well, just be like, you know, just start going like, listen, you got a, you know, baby dick.
So funny, right?
Right. Isn't it funny?
Yeah.
Just got
It's our little joke.
Little joke, just like your penis. Ready to play some games?
I'm ready.
This week we're playing Thirsty or Nah, sponsored by the innovative food and drinkware company Stanley. Whether you're headed to a summer picnic in the park or to the beach with friends, Stanley's Quencher H2.0 Flow State Tumbler made from 90% recycled stainless steel is essential for your summer hydration. So here's how we play Thirsty or Nah. We have a few scenarios to determine whether someone's being too thirsty, meaning these dating moves are overeager, to the point of weird, or nah, and could it lead to a relationship. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, so we got our Thirsty or Nah
love these.
Quenchers. We love the Quencher. Nah. I mean, these are great, personalized.
I love it. Also, I think it's great. You know, you can have one just drinking your water on your couch, and then someone's like, "Do you want this for dinner?" You don't even have to answer. Just say nah.
Nah. Yeah, it's perfect. Okay, so Thirsty or Nah. You meet a guy at a party, then he goes and likes your last 15 selfies. Is this too thirsty, or is this just a normal way to send a signal that you're interested? And how many likes is okay before it's too thirsty? What do you think? Another listener actually had a similar submission, said a guy went and liked all 268 of her Instagram posts.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
He went into the archives?
Right.
I'd be like, do you have a job?
What have you been doing all night?
I mean, to be totally honest, I think 15 is a lot too. Like 5, I think would be fine. 15 is a lot. But I think I'd be okay with it. I think
15 does, the more you say it, the more it seems like too much.
What is it, like 5 lines worth of pictures? How many are on each of the grid?
Right. There's 3 pictures a line.
I think 4 is like
15 is actually like 3 full scrolls.
Have you done this?
So I've been giving out this advice for years.
I know, you talk,
tapping on the glass, the window tap.
How many are in the window tap?
I think you go 5.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
5,
I'm with you.
15, it's like Okay, we met at a party. If we a dating app, no. We met at a party. We had like a thing. We had like a vibe. 15, I'll let it go. 268, no.
268.
50, I think it's a little, I would be like it might be a little red flaggy.
So you would have had to have had a vibe.
Yes.
So there are levels to this. I agree. Because listen, if you're liking beyond the pandemic, you have gone too far.
Especially, yeah, agreed.
So I mean, because that matters too. Because some people post more, some people post less. So if you're beyond the post of like quarantine, you are way back there. No. So the time of it matters.
I agree. How far back in time has he gone? Is it like your pictures from your college sorority?
Right. No, he's sorority squatting on there.
Yeah.
No. So, okay, you talk to a guy, you have a really nice vibe. You come back 5 likes in a row.
That's fine.
So that's a nah.
Yeah. 5 likes is fine.
That's a nah.
Nah, yeah.
Okay. Because it's not a big deal.
5 likes is a nah.
No. Okay. Right. You get introduced by a friend. This is my friend Jared. Hey, nice to meet you. You don't talk the rest of the night. How many likes can they do? To send you a little bit of a sign. And you go, oh, is that your friend Jared that just liked 10 of my pictures?
And I think I'm sort of intrigued.
Right.
If I'm intrigued, I don't care.
Right.
I'm not going to be like, he liked, if I've met them, and they like, even honestly, maybe even more than 50. If I like them and I'm like excited that they're.
And you have a mutual friend.
Right. Yeah. I think I'd be okay with it.
You're at the bar, random guy comes up. Hey, can I buy you a shot? You go, yeah, sure. Take one shot and you go, nice to meet you. He's like, I'm Jared. You're like, I'm Jordana. Cool. Never speak again. He finds you.
How does he find me?
People have their ways.
Oh my God. That's a little creepy.
10 of them in a row.
That's a little creepy.
But you took the shot.
So? So now I owe him something?
No, it's not consent.
What about you? She likes what if she liked 268 of your photos?
See, me.
Yeah.
With
you as
I post
Jared with the Netflix special.
Netflix Jared, Jared, Mr. Netflix Freed. You gotta make yourself apparent. So I do understand liking more. 268 is a lot. I would say you could. That's a crazy amount. I would say that if.
But you had a vibe.
But we had a vibe. They could like a lot of them.
I think
they could really like a lot of them, and I would see it.
I would be in. What are they? Are they contacting me after these likes, or is that just where they're leaving it there?
The window tap thing.
Is that so all like their pictures?
It's so you come back. That's the whole advice. Is that I do believe that. As humans, we act a certain way on the internet. If I was to like 10 of your pictures and you were like, oh, okay, and you went back and liked 5 of mine, then the next move is me going, hey, now that I've liked all your pictures, just wanted to say what's up. It was nice to meet you tonight.
Personally, I would never like more than 1.
Okay, but even liking 1.
Okay.
I would.
That would be a way in. That would be my flirtation back.
Right. That would be to me the door opening a little bit.
Okay.
You opening the window.
That's what I'm saying.
Hello?
I would just want to do it a little bit. I'm not trying to make a game where we're just constantly liking each other's pictures.
Someone has to break.
Right.
That's the whole
what I'm
point.
Saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm more towards
Same.
on all these scenarios than thirsty. All right, let's do another one.
All right. He gets the DJ to play a specific song so you'll dance with him. I was at a club and this guy asked me to dance. I said I couldn't really dance to this, so he asked what music I liked, and I said 2000s pop. He walked away without a word, and 20 minutes later, I hear the DJ shouting me out, saying, your man begged me to play this just for you.
This is a hero. This guy's the man. In his mind, he is like, I did it. I got the vibe changed to her vibe.
Okay.
Love it.
I'd have to already be into him.
That's the problem. Was this a no?
This is not going to do it if I was like not interested. This is not going to be like, he got them to play my song.
Well, this is the interesting part about not saying no and going with an excuse is like, oh, you don't like the music? Well, I can change that for you. And like he was so confident, like, oh, you must want to dance with me. It's the music, not me. That's his thought.
It probably was him, I think.
Right, but I mean,
if I'm into him, if I'm like, then it's a nah. If I'm like, even if I'm on the fence, maybe it's a nah. I'm like,
Okay.
Oh, that's kind of cute. If I'm like the slightest bit not, then it's quite thirsty.
I think
your man, I'm like, whoa, back up.
He was the hero.
We're not together. We're not together.
Everyone's man.
What if someone hears you and there's someone I actually want to date?
Yeah, the DJ went above and beyond, but the DJ's trying to be a wingman. Yeah. This is what this is how men help. You go, oh, strong man, change music.
This is very cute or creepy. If you weren't, I think it's the same with you. If you weren't into the girl.
Right. I would still be like, oh, this chick fucking makes moves.
So you think it'd be nice either way?
Nah, either way. I
mean,
you
wouldn't would you still dance?
Yeah, I have to now. I've been shamed into it.
Fair enough.
There it is.
Okay.
One last one.
Let's do it.
A girl buys a guy a drink. I was at a bar the other night with two friends and I tried something I've never done before. Just to set the scene, I'm about 3 months removed from a long-term relationship and just got back into dating. It wasn't too crowded and I saw a cute guy sitting by himself at the end of the bar about 5 seats down from me. So I did the unthinkable. I walked over and asked him, "Can I buy you a drink?" I don't know what came over me. It was probably the last tequila soda that gave me the courage. Anyways, he says to me, "No, but I'll buy you one."
That's the ideal sitch.
There it is. We ended up chatting for 20 minutes before he got my number and left. So glad it worked out and I didn't end up humiliating myself. But I realized the next morning just how out of character the decision was for me. So what do you think? Thirsty or nah? I love the way she describes something that every man has to do every single night to even get in front of a woman. Like, I did the unthinkable.
Here's the thing. I don't think I would do it. Just because the rejection is so like, I'm kind of putting someone on the spot almost. Like I would start up a banter first, I think.
I think I'm so for what she did.
Yeah?
Yeah, because the banter, it's a waste of time. Hey, how you doing? I just saw you across the bar. Would you like a drink? I'm about to get one for myself.
To me, that's like the Bumble initiation, though. Like I have no idea if he's actually going to be into me.
Right. I think like to me, we're doing this. If you change your goals, it'll be helpful.
Okay.
So if your goal of getting someone a drink is number, then that kind of like makes things a little bit easier and more accessible.
Sure.
Because if you go, hey, can I buy you a drink? And then nice to meet you, have a 20-minute talk like they did. Great. You got the number. He either makes a plan or he doesn't for that second date. You've had the first date.
Yeah.
So I think if you make the plan, I'm just looking to get a number. I'm not looking to like I'm not getting married tonight.
But even if he texts you, I would kind of just be wondering if he'd be like just looking to hook up. Because I've made it very clear that I'm like down.
Attracted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in every guy
I guess they could come on to you and still think that.
Right.
Yeah.
Every guy is just trying to hook up. Mm-hmm. Let's live at that as a baseline.
Right.
And then we'll see. Guys tell you that.
Right.
We say to you, yeah, I'm looking for something, a little casual, and if it's the right person, I'll sign on to, be in a relationship.
I respect it. I don't think I would do it, but I respect it.
I'm so in the nah category. It's not thirsty at all to me. Totally nah. I'm happy for this person.
What if she just picks up your tab?
I mean, that's a little... I'd be like, what happened?
That guy over there, right. I want to pay for all 7 of his vodka sodas.
I would think it's like a pay it forward situation. Like I gotta get the next person in line.
But wouldn't you feel like an asshole for not asking for her number at that point? Like I would feel, I don't know. I would feel weird like if someone bought all my drinks, like just being like, thanks, bye.
All my drinks is a little... That guy over there just paid your whole tab. And then me across the bar, yoo-hoo!
Right, I'm like a little like, okay, like now I feel like I owe you something.
Right, I would never buy the whole tab, I guess. Let me get their next round. Is more, I've had people get me drinks. I actually say no to drinks all the time after shows.
Why?
Because I do believe it's them buying my time.
Well, that's the thing.
And my energy. And that sounded so fucking
Well, if a woman bought you, I'm saying a woman you weren't interested in wanted to buy you, let's say she wasn't interested. What would you say? You weren't interested, rather.
I say the same thing. Hey, I'm really appreciative, but they give me free drinks, and I'm totally appreciative, but I'm just not.
Okay. Well, what if you weren't? Or what if you were interested? I'll buy you the drink.
I'll get you the drink. No, but I would take the drink. But again, like after a show, you get so tired that you're like, I got to make sure I can get out of this conversation. And I am like kind of a people pleaser.
You don't want to feel. That's what I'm saying. If someone bought my whole tab,
I have to talk to them. I got to put on another show. It would feel like I need to make sure they had a good experience with me, as opposed to no, thank you, but I'm so happy you had fun. And then like maybe we start talking otherwise without it. Right, you're right. It's an uneven playing field.
Right. Well, that's my only fear with like offering to buy someone a drink is I feel like they might feel. Although men never feel this. I would feel like they might feel obligated to speak to me, and I wouldn't be sure if they were speaking to me because they wanted to or because like I just made this gesture and they felt weird about it.
See, I guess it's different. I'm thinking of after a show because someone had just seen my show, got me a drink, and I'm like, I got to make sure that I think at the corner of the bar, guys alone, and you say, hey, can I get you the next drink? They can say, I really appreciate it, but I'm actually waiting for a date to get here. Okay. They can also say, really appreciate it, but I'm getting out of here. Or they can go, yeah, I'll take a drink. And taking the drink is an acknowledgement that I think you're cute too and I want to talk to you.
Right. Men are not as into free drinks as
women. No.
Free drink?
Free?
Well, I have a friend here too.
Right. I guess I live here now. Yeah. No.
I'm much more excited at the prospect of saving some money. Okay. Yeah, I would say not thirsty.
It's not thirsty.
Yeah.
I'm for
buying
anyone...
around is thirsty.
Right. So your whole night and your meal? That's a little thirsty, but that I got none.
Fair. And with Stanley's Quencher H2.0, you are destined to look cool and keep your drink cool with their amazing double wall vacuum insulation. Plus, it comes in 5 different sizes for all your hydration needs, and they have eye-catching new colors that fit any and every summer occasion. Never look or be thirsty again thanks to Stanley, and you can try Stanley for yourself by visiting stanley1913.com.
We love Stanley. We love the Quencher. I mean, I've been chugging the whole episode.
I have this at home by my like office desk, and it just lasts the whole day. It's amazing.
It's really great, and the tumbler. I like that they have different sizes.
I bring it everywhere. Fits, and the best part. I know you're not a driver these days.
Right.
Is that
Suburban
the bottom
Jordana.
Fits in a cup holder.
Big deal.
And it's still huge. That's
deal.
the best part.
It's huge.
To be honest.
Love it. Well, we solved dating.
We did it. We'll be back on Sunday with a Sunday special. Bye.
Boom.
The U Up podcast is produced by Sean Kilby, Maddie Paul, and Jorge Morales-Pico. Editing by Jorge Morales-Pico. Social media by Maddie Paul. Be sure to follow at u.up.podcast on Instagram and send us your emails to uup@betches.com.